So when it comes to handouts, we all know that the Democrats are the kings and queens of it, right? Any chance they get, they would love to give handouts, right? I mean, that's their go-to, right? Especially when it comes to like elections or any type of policy. Their two moves are either to promise to give someone money, or what they do is they'll bash the other side, right? Because we know when it comes to policies, their policies are garbage. They're straight trash, and that's a big reason why they lost, 2024 election to Trump, because they don't really have a plan, right? Their goal is to say, all right, we'll give you money, or the other side is bad, but they'll never actually come up with a plan that actually helps the American people, because we know when it comes to their policies are garbage, and all they do is hurt people. So this brings me to Jasmine Crockett, which she's criticizing the fact that Trump and Elon Musk brought up a proposal to maybe depending on how much we save in terms of Doge, they want to give 5,000 back to the American people. And of course, Jasmine Crockett, she's not too fond of the idea.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything.
See, first of all, that's not what she asked you. She didn't ask you if it was truthful or not, if it was a lie, is that what they're going to do? First of all, they proposed it, they talked about it. So it's something that's an idea that they brought up. What she asked you is, would you support it? And that's either a yes or no question. And for me, that's an easy layup. Right? Like, wow, if that was me, I'd say, of course, like if any opportunity to be able to give back the American people its own money, then of course I'm a supporter. That's an easy layup. But of course you wanted to go to avoid it and say, it's not true. It's a lie. Like, what do you mean it's not a lie? They brought it up. Whether you do it or not is a different question. But would you support it? And that's, for me, of course I would. But of course, because her team didn't do it, didn't bring it up, then of course she wants to find a way to find a negative with it.
To do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us, because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once in a lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime, because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists, or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
See, she's such a, she's being so disingenuous, because she says we don't have the money for this, right? First of all, I mean, if it was reparations, she would have no problem saying we had the money for this, right? Because it benefits her cause. And she had, I'm sure there's videos of her actually fighting for that. I think it was like last week she was talking about it. And it's so weird that she says we don't have any money for it. But then when it comes to reparations, which would actually add to the deficit, which would add to the national debt, she has no problem supporting that. Right. But when it comes to Doge and the savings, which wouldn't add any debt, because this is actual savings that are found within the government, and depending on how much, they save, they find how much they save. They're talking about giving 20%, back to the American people. That's the American people's money. Okay, that's not going to add to the national debt. Now, me personally, I would probably think about, maybe paying down the debt. But basically the way they're doing is that if they find a certain amount, what they're going to do, they're going to give 20% to the American people, and the rest they'll, probably use to pay off the debt and do whatever what they want. But and I think that's a good idea, because like, why wouldn't you not want to give it back to the American people? This is the American people's money, the money that was wasted due to waste or fraud. They're going to give it back to the American people. So it's just so funny to hear her say that we don't have the money for it. But when it comes to certain things that probably causes that she supports, I'm pretty sure she'll have no problem giving that money up. So it's because the fact that it's Trump and Musk doing it, then of course they're going to find a way to oppose it. But if it was the Democrats opposing this, they'd be all on it. And let's be honest, when it comes to Democrats, we know they're all about giving money. Look at Kamala Harris, right? She was talking about giving $25,000 for a housing credit, right? Like if you want to buy a house, we'll give you a $25,000 housing credit. Or look at student loans, right? They were talking about paying off, just canceling student loans, right? These are all forms of handouts, right? Giving people giving people money to pay for things, right? They all supported it, but because Musk and Trump are doing this in a more efficient way, which doesn't even add to the national debt, right? This is money that they found out and saved. They're going to give a portion of that back to the American people, right? That who's not for that? And she says that what's $5,000 going to do? That just tells me that you're so out of touch. Because if you ask a lot of American people, there's a lot that the American people will find out what they can do with that. Whether it's pay down debt, they could be able to afford certain things for a little bit. And yes, it's not life changing money, but $5,000 can go a long way for a lot of people. So regardless if you think if it can do a lot for a lot of people, it doesn't matter. $5,000 is $5,000, and who's going to say no to $5,000? Especially when it's your money. Right? It's like you giving back to the American people their money, but she's so out of touch, and because she's the one that her party not getting the credit for it, then of course she doesn't support it, right? Because she understands that if Trump and Musk actually are able to do something like this, then she knows that it will hurt the Democratic Party. Right, people are gonna look at this and say, "Wow, Trump and Musk were able to find so much savings, right? They were able to, to bring down the national debt, cut the deficit, and on top of that, give us $5,000." People are going to see that and say, "You know what? They are actually getting things done." Something the American people have been waiting for a long time. Right? We've been year after year, we've been seeing the government just waste our money, right? And then always want to ask us for more. Okay, and people want to see more efficiency when it comes to our government. They want to see our money being put to use, more efficient use. And then the fact that you can give a $5,000 credit, people will be like, okay, damn, that's. I mean, I didn't expect that, but I'll take it, and it's actually your money. So obviously she's being disingenuous, because if it benefited her cause, she would be so quick to be like, yeah, of course I do this. I mean, the American people deserve this. It's their money. Like, if we can save money for the American people and help them out, $5,000 will go a long way. But because it's the other side doing it, yeah, $5,000 is not going to do much. Like, these people are fake. They're mad, and it's so crazy because you would think this would be something we'd all agree with, but clearly, when it comes to that, like $5,000, I mean, like she said, when it came to COVID, they was like, oh, it was passed by a Democratic, Congress. Yeah, look at you. You want to take credit for that? And it was like what, $1,600? You're talking about $5,000, and that does nothing for anyone. She's just being full of it. So those are my thoughts. Interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure you leave a comment down below, hit the like button, share, and if you haven't done so, then make sure you subscribe. Right, so guys, take care. Have a good one. Later.